to another episode of Pro Football Today. I am joined here with my friend Nick, and we're going to talk about a little bit of week one. And of course, we started the episode last week with Trubisky. We kind of have to start this episode with Trubisky, just looking at what he was able to do in the fourth quarter. Given first three quarters, I was surprised we didn't see Nick Foles. I was kind of hoping for Nick Foles. Trubisky comes in, does his stuff. So, Nick, based off of what you saw in the fourth quarter, are you sold that Trubisky is the starting quarterback?
I'm not completely sold. I think he's going to have to at least give 3/4 of what he did in the fourth quarter every quarter if he's going to want that starting job. I think he for sure earned it for this week against the Giants, considering the Giants aren't a great team defensively. He should be fine. But then again, the Lions aren't that great either, and he was just really struggling to be accurate in the beginning. Yeah, he had some receivers drop a few big plays. I know Jimmy Graham missed a few.
Touchdown
but
catch, I believe, too.
He missed a touchdown catch. And, yeah, it was just really not good to see. I was watching the first half, and I said, oh, crap, this is over.
I was this close to just turn the TV off.
I was just very disappointed because I was thinking, if he won the QB battle looking like this, how bad is Foles?
Right, exactly.
So that scared me a bit. But Trubisky, even in the quarters he struggled, the first three, he still made some decent throws. He still is showing a bit more poise in the pocket compared to last year, compared to the year, but maybe not compared to 2018. He had a lot of confidence in 2018. But he's
going through his reads. Before it's just
Robinson.
Going through Robinson.
Yeah, exactly.
This year, look over here, look over there. Hey, there's Miller down the middle of the field. He's actually going through his progressions.
He had a few plays this game where he just said, all right, Robinson, go up and get it. And Robinson made a couple risky catches, some very contested catches, and which is why we need to extend him, give him his money. Don't leave Robin. Don't put Robinson at the see what the Bears are doing though, and I know we didn't plan on talking about this, but what the Bears are doing with Robinson is it's terrible because they're banking everything on Trubisky looking good. And if Trubisky doesn't look good, then Allen Robinson's not going to get an extension.
And Allen Robinson when it comes to the Allen Robinson extension. Cooper Kupp, good receiver.
Good receiver.
Yeah. Not as good as Allen Robinson. He's not number one. And yet he got paid. What in the world? I mean, if Cooper Kupp can get paid, why can't Allen Robinson? It doesn't make any sense.
Robinson's a top 5 receiver. He single-handedly carried our offense last year. There's no doubt about it.
His entire career.
Yeah.
First Blake Bortles, now Trubisky.
He had Bortles and Trubisky. Trubisky, in my mind, is a better quarterback, has a better upside. Just, that might be biased as a Bears fan. But, Robinson had some big plays that carried Trubisky through the first three quarters. Other playmakers, Darnell Mooney, I really liked what we saw of him. Had some great plays.
Fantastic.
So I do think, though, and this is similar to my thoughts on the Bucs, without having an off season, it's really tough to build that chemistry. So Trubisky's going to figure it out. He's got that chemistry with Miller. He's got that chemistry with Wims from previous years. He's going to find it with Jimmy Graham. Those two overthrows.
He's always trying to figure that stuff out.
Those two overthrows. I'm not going to be too hard on him for because
one of them technically wasn't an overthrow. Jimmy Graham missed his jump.
He did.
He messed that one up.
But then again, that's chemistry that's going to get figured out. And I think
exactly.
I think based on the Bears' schedule over the next couple of weeks, I think it's going to really prove if Trubisky can handle it. And I think he is more confident. He's gonna make some bad moves, but he's not perfect. He's going to learn. I think Nagy's play calling is improved already, and I think based on these next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to see really, this come to play and see if Trubisky can really handle that starting job.
Well, let's take a look. Let's move on from the Bears. With week one, there's always some crazy games. some teams we thought were going to be able to win that didn't win. Teams that we thought were going to be awful, they end up winning games. So let's take a look at teams that are failing expectations, at least week one. Now, this can easily change. There was no preseason, no OTAs, very little training camp. So this can easily change. But, Nick, I want you to start with your team. What team do you feel is failing expectations so far?
For me, this is an easy one. It's got to be the Cowboys. So many analysts had them in the Super Bowl, had them winning the Super Bowl just based on pure talent, which I agree. Dallas is probably one of the most talented rosters out there, just in terms of not even coaching, not even play calling, just skill level. Zeke is always going to come out and play. Amari Cooper, when he's at home, he'll do fine. Their defense, exactly, and their defense was looking pretty solid, but injuries are already hitting them hard. Like they're one lineman away from calling this a bum season, another 8-8 season.
And Van Der Esch is also gone.
Yeah, Van Der Esch is gone. That's a huge hit to that defense. He and Smith have really just stepped up and have made huge plays, and just a really smart duo. But then again, it's Mike McCarthy's first week as a coach. He didn't have a preseason, and we're really going to see these teams that, especially with all new stars, basically.
Yeah.
Or new coaches, new stars. They're going to need to have time to come in, give them 2 or 3 weeks just to build that chemistry a bit. So it surprised me that the Cowboys went down to the Rams, but then again, the Rams got Ramsey, they got Donald. Their offense looked pretty. The Rams' offense.
Malcolm Brown was a stud. Malcolm Brown was amazing.
They were looking great. So I can't fault the Cowboys necessarily because of the injuries, but it is surprising to see them start to go down a bit this week.
Well, that defense on the Rams' first series in offense was incredible. Dallas had no way of stopping it. And Dallas lost a lot of defenders in free agency.
Yeah.
They have got to figure out that rushing attack. Because Malcolm Brown should not have been able to run all over him.
No.
It wasn't a 3-back system. It was basically Malcolm Brown.
No, but then again, with the Cowboys, you forget that Gerald McCoy went out for season a few weeks ago. They did pick up Everson Griffin, but he's still got to prove himself there. So I agree that line's got to step up, but we got to just kind of see how it goes the next couple of weeks, see if they can step it up.
And this is still a playoff caliber team.
Absolutely.
Easily especially a playoff caliber team.
Especially in a weak division like the NFC East.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised Dallas sneaking in at an 8-8.
Yeah. I think I have them right now. I have to remember I have them winning division. Division.
For sure, yeah.
It can happen. But they've got to work on this chemistry. They've got to get things going. There's not a whole lot of new pieces except for that defense. The offense is basically the same. You just add CeeDee Lamb,
who is
same coordinator, and Kellen Moore. So this defense just needs to get going. Defense can work. I think Dallas will be just fine.
Yeah.
So,
how about you? Who do you got for your bit of an upset?
I thought this was a pretty easy one. I get the Bucs. Everyone had high expectations for the Bucs. That week one, Tom Brady's going to go out, figure everything out. He's got the best receiving core he's ever had, and Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller. But then everything went downhill. It wasn't so much that Bucs just didn't do good enough to win. Brady didn't look good. One or two touchdowns compared to 2 interceptions.
2 touchdowns, also threw a pick 6. So.
And third straight game that he's thrown a pick six.
Yeah.
First time since 2013, Matt Schaub and Blaine Gabbert. It's not good company to be in.
No, but I again continue because I do have my points about the Bucs on how they'll bounce back.
But here's the thing with the Bucs. This is the biggest thing with the Bucs. You bring in a new quarterback that's never played in this system. The guy's played in the same system for 20 years. If you have a job for 20 years and you get a new job someplace else, it's going to take you some time to get used to that new job. The same thing's going to go for Tom Brady. Yes, he's a smart quarterback. Yes, he's an elite quarterback, but it's going to take him a couple weeks, definitely with no preseason, shorter training camp. It's going to take some. It's going to take him some time to figure out the lingo, figure out how these receivers work. And didn't help. Mike Evans was not 100%,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not going to help this week with Chris Godwin potentially not being 100%.
Yeah.
So when you have a team that has so many new parts, because the running back core is completely different. I mean, yes, Ronald Jones is the main back, but Leonard Fournette wasn't there before. LaShawn McCoy wasn't there before. Keyshawn Vaughn wasn't there before. Then you go to Gronkowski as well. You have so many pieces in offense. They've never worked together before. They didn't have a whole lot of time in training camp. They didn't have OTAs. So week one, they just have to kind of go out there and figure things out against a really good Saints defense. So, yes, they failed expectations. Everyone was expecting to win. It's going to take them a few weeks. Expect them to get in their prime around week 5. They're going to lose some games in the first few games.
Which is when, the Bears play them in week 5. So
we're hoping and praying it's going to be week 6.
Yeah.
But this team will be just fine. That's why I have them in the wild card, not winning division. It's going to take more time than the Saints. Saints already have everything figured out. I'm given, though, Michael Thomas is going to be out for potentially a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Drew Brees knows how to throw to backup receivers. He's done that basically his entire career. He'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, he made Marquise Colston a 1,000-yard receiver. So
exactly.
He can do it.
I have a long list of accomplished Saints receivers that shouldn't have been accomplished receivers.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, and that's my biggest thing. I didn't think the Bucs would win this first game. Are they going to rebound? Of course they are. They're going to play a terrible Carolina defense this coming week. They'll be fine.
They should be just fine.
The Saints defense really didn't change all that much from last year, and they were a top defense last year. Lattimore and Jenkins, great duo at corner. Should he have thrown that pick 6? Probably not. It was a bad ball, but that first pick to Evans wasn't Brady's fault. It was a bad route, bad route running, and that kind of stuff happens without chemistry and without having in-person OTAs, no mini camp, training camp, none of that. And all of these new stars that came in don't know the system. And Brady's going to figure it out. He's a smart guy. Gronk is a smart football guy. He'll figure it out. Because Gronk wasn't there much either this week. I expected maybe a bit more from Gronk this week,
especially because with Brady not having chemistry with anyone else yet.
Simply having that chemistry with Brady already, should have already stepped up.
But he does have that chemistry seemingly with Scotty Miller.
Yeah, he
loves Scotty Miller.
Yeah, that'll be fun to see. That'll be fun to see for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll figure it out. The Saints are a great team. I don't fault Brady. I mean, I fault him a bit, just for lack of chemistry and all that. But really, honestly, too, the Bucs, they had that blocked. The Saints blocked the field goal. They had, countless ridiculous penalties that Brady's just not used to. Brady comes from, New England, who is
disciplined. You have everything.
Disciplined, have everything down. They don't let kicks get blocked. None of that silly stuff. They don't lose kickoffs. None of that silly stuff that just shouldn't happen to a pro football team. So they'll bounce back. It's going to be fine. Brady's going to be fine.
So for all you Buck fans that are just about to jump ship, everything's going to be just fine. Give it a few weeks. It's going to be hard for the first few weeks.
Yeah.
But once that week 5, week 6 comes around, when they start figuring things out, Bucs are going to be on top. Bucs will definitely be on top. So now I want to switch over to teams that are exceeding expectations. Teams that maybe we thought they were going to be good, maybe we didn't think they were going to be good, but they're doing a lot better than what we had thought. So I'll start that out. I have Washington in there. Now, Philly's kind of an interesting team. They have no offensive line right now. Their defense, I think, is better than what it has been in years past. I think they got more stability on the when it comes to the cornerbacks. than what they've had in years past. They don't have any injuries there, which is the first time in forever. But Washington, I mean, they're able to sack Wentz 8 times. 8 times. Chase Young, a sack and a half. They look good. You had a lot of people in that front seven that are able to get to Wentz. Now, given, like what I said, they don't have a line, but they're still incredible. 8 sacks. Washington was actually able to drive in the win. Haskins didn't look too bad. Peyton Barber looked amazing. 2 touchdowns in that game. So I think Peyton Barber's kind of showing that he should be that lead back. At the very, very least, he's proven that he's the goal line back. But I never would have thought Washington would come out of that game with the win, let alone leading division. Cowboys lose to the Rams, Giants lose to the Steelers, and then, of course, Washington beats Philly. They're the only team with a win. I said before, this team, I had a feeling with this defense, adding Chase Young, maybe, just maybe, they can imitate what San Fran did last season. It's just 1 week. And like I said, they're going against a bad Eagles offensive line, but even then, it's a lot better than what I thought. Especially since Wentz beat out Haskins for interceptions thrown. Didn't think that was going to happen.
I don't see. This is where you and I disagree. I don't think Washington's going to be all that special. I see them as a 7-8-1 team at best.
And yet they can still win the division.
That's the thing. This division this year is so bad.
It's terrible. And
the Cowboys should be the favorite. The Cowboys have the talent to be a 12-4, 13-3 team.
Oh, definitely.
Injuries are killing them already in week 1. Philly, again, they have some talent, but it's just week 1 they didn't look like they were together. And Wentz just has no protection. He's more than likely.
Miles Sanders was also out, so they didn't have a running game.
Had no running game.
Exactly.
So it just things weren't together for Philly. I don't think Washington's going to hold this up. I mean, they didn't play a very strong Philly defense. So, of course, Haskins can look decent out there, But then again, I mean, I can't say, Washington's the best team out of this division when, you go look at, the Giants, who aren't even a great team either, but they played the Steelers, who are looking pretty solid this year. Their front seven are a scary front seven.
Stop scary front seven. Like 6 yards?
Exactly, which
wow,
it's not going to happen. Most teams aren't going to be able to do that. So we'll see how it goes. Chase Young is going to be incredible, no doubt about it. But Washington it'll be week by week.
I have him on my watch list. I don't know what you expect from just yet.
No, it's going to be like last year, where it's going to come down to week 15 to see which team is going to clinch the division.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to happen, and Washington could do it at an 8-8 record.
Yeah,
and I think that division is going to come down to how well those teams play each other in division, because they're going to really struggle out of division. But in division, games are really going to matter for that NFC East. But
definitely.
Let me tell you a team, though, that kind of surprised me a bit.
Go for it.
Not necessarily because of the talent on the team, but because of just coaching, and that is the Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson finally is able to just ball out like we know he can, because he's got MVP caliber, in him. Like he should have won MVP at least. The
most underrated quarterback in the league right now.
Most underrated. Exactly. He knows where to throw the ball. He knows when to run. He knows when, he knows exactly where the ball needs to go. There were countless throws that he had where they were just there in the receiver's hands, and he's just making it so easy for him. And that defense with Jamal Adams, yeah, they gave up a lot of yards, but they're not afraid. They're physical. They're physical defense. They're going to be fine. Pete Carroll knows what he's doing with that defense. And he's finally just saying, Russ, do what you want to do. Like, do what you can. And I think, obviously, the best division this year is the NFC West, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would second that.
You know, when the only losing team out of that division is the runner-up from the Super Bowl last year, it's, you know, it's kind of crazy to see. But then again, Seattle's going to be a good team. It's going to be a tough division. I personally don't see the 49ers getting to the playoffs again. I don't think that's going to happen.
I have them third place, potentially even fourth place.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Arizona's going to be balling out, and they showed that this Sunday.
Arizona's going to do fine. Arizona's everyone's dark horse team that's going to come out. But, of course, you give Kyler, who's a top talent, very similar to the style of Russell Wilson, very accurate.
You give him a nice toy there in DeAndre Hopkins.
Gave him DeAndre Hopkins, who is probably going to go down as one of the worst, like, undervalued – not even undervalued, but, like, one of the worst trades ever for Houston. One of the worst. So I think Seattle's going to be top tier this year. Wouldn't be surprised if they go 12-4, 13-3, win that division. But it's going to be a tough division. And again, in division games are going to count heavily for the NFC West. Seattle's probably, just looking at their schedule, probably not going to have a whole lot of issues with a lot of other teams outside of their division. So it's going to come down to how they play against the Rams and Goff, and really we know Russell Wilson's going to step up. We know he's going to ball, but that defense is going to have to hold against a good Rams offense, against a good Cardinals offense now
this is why the addition of Jamal Adams is so huge for Seattle.
So big. Yeah,
I mean, they will put him wherever. We saw that this Sunday.
He can play.
He'll go out there and cover. He'll blitz every once in a while. I mean, he's all over the place.
He can cover the A or B gap in the box. He can go rush the edge. He can play linebacker alongside Wagner if he needs to. It's where do they need him? He'll be around the ball. Like he's going to be where the ball is. He plays physical. In my opinion, probably my favorite safety to watch in the league. Probably one of my favorite defenders to watch in the league, just because he's just a playmaker. He knows what he's doing. Top talent, but that's my team for sure.
The thing with Seattle too, they're changing everything so that way. This is a passing offense now. They finally woken up and said, we don't have Marshawn Lynch anymore.
Yeah, Pete Carroll finally realized.
Injuries ever since they lost Marshawn Lynch, because they're expecting these other Thomas Rawls, Kristen Michael, that, okay, you're going to be Marshawn Lynch. Well, they're not Marshawn Lynch. Chris Carson isn't Marshawn Lynch.
No. And, Pete Carroll finally realized he can't just establish the run every other play. No. That's all
that's where they make
that's his thing. Is he just
you can argue they didn't have a running game because everyone was hurt.
Exactly, and that is a thing. Injuries, of course, are obviously going to kill, a coach's vision for a team, no doubt. But in my mind, Seattle needed to do this years ago.
Yes.
Wilson is an MVP quarterback, no doubt about it, and he probably should have had one before, Lamar and Mahomes came in the league. But
long before him.
He's still, in my mind, obviously the most talented quarterback in that division. My number 2 would be Kyler in that division, just in terms of talent. Goff is good, but Goff, put him in anyone else's system, he's going to flop. He and McVay were great together, and that's why they got to Super Bowl. So I'm not faulting him. I think Goff, where he is great, deserves his money. He went toe-to-toe in a shootout with Mahomes a few years back. That's how he won his money. That's how he got the money, and it's great to see. It's fun to see. But Seattle, I think, could be, even just seeing them week 1 and how they competed, I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to go deep into the playoffs and not a Super Bowl.
Well, I think that's pretty much all that we have for this show, for this episode today. Thursday Night Football is just about to start here in a couple hours. So do you have a prediction for who's going to win that game?
Who's
Bengals or Browns?
The Ohio Stink Bowl? That's tough. They're both terrible.
In their own ways, too.
In their own ways. I mean, I love what Burrow did week 1 against a pretty solid Chargers defense. I mean, Bosa and Ingram are, incredible pass rushers. And so
great duo.
I think it could go either way. It's really going to come down to who has the ball last and who's going to make that game-winning drive.
think it depends
It's
on those
honestly going to be
quarterbacks.
that. It's going to be the quarterbacks. I think Baker's got some talent, but this is his fourth coach in
throwing to
4
the opposite
years.
team.
Exactly. And Baker just doesn't seem to have chemistry with his receivers at all, and that's a big thing. But I'm going to just take the upset. I'll take the Bengals this week.
I'm leaning towards the Bengals. I like Joe Burrow.
Just because I like Burrow. His last drive is exactly what he did at LSU.
Yeah.
Is exactly what he did. And, you know, you got AJ Green, you got Tyler Boyd, who he seems to have actual decent chemistry with, unlike, you know, the Browns. But it's really going to be just a terrible game overall.
It's going to be interesting.
I don't understand why we're being forced to watch this on a Thursday night.
Like Monday night last year.
It was exactly. But yeah, I'll take the Bengals.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Please do not hesitate to hit that subscribe button. And, you know, we had some hot takes today, so if there's anything you like, if there's anything you don't like, please put that in the comments, especially if you don't like Nick's take. He loves it when you don't like his take. So don't be afraid to put that in there.
I will comment back and start arguments in the chat. I do not care.
And he already has.
Exactly.
So thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good rest of your day.